It is. Hello, everybody. It's me, Michael Hartinger. Um, really glad to be invited. Thanks, all the Game Dev Graz organizers, and especially Joey for doing this. I couldn't be happier than to do this. And the first thing I would like to do, because I have 150 people in the audience, to say, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? I can hear you. No, this talk is about SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, a remake that had to be made. About me shortly, I'm Michael Hartinger. I went from enterprise IT via creating indie games to AAA plus games now in the last 20 years. So I came to Vienna 20 years ago. I was born in Klagenfurt in the south of Austria or northern Slovenia, however you like to have it. I'm with Purple Lamp since summer 2019. I joined the Rehydrated team shortly after the Vertical Slice as a project manager, so in summer 2019. And currently I'm working as a game director on an unannounced game. About Purple Lamp. Purple Lamp was founded 2018. Currently we are nearly 50, if not over 50 employees already. We were around 35 when Rehydrated released last year in June. Currently, we are working on unannounced projects and the Guild Free. So we're still supporting Guild Free, which is in early access. We have been independent, but now Purple Lamp is owned by THQ Nordic since Q4 2020. And we are committed to create the most awesome licensed games with THQ Nordic. And one of it has been SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. About the original. So the original was released 2003. On the PlayStation 2, Nintendo GameCube, Xbox, and there were variants of it, of the original game for Game Boy Advanced and the PC. It was published by the original THQ without the Nordic and developed by Heavy Iron Studios, who did a lot of contract work for THQ back in the day. The timeline, platforms, and the release. So for us to finish and release the game, it took us 90 months of development time. It was released last year in June 2020. I think it might be next week that they have the 1 year anniversary of the release. And it released on the same day for Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC, and was followed by a Stadia release in December last year. Here you see, this is not a broken image. This is what happens during development time if you test different shaders on Switch. Some random facts. So all voice overlines were with original SpongeBob cast for all languages except English have been re-recorded. We shipped with an online and offline multiplayer at launch. You could even play offline together with two Switches, just in having them next to each other. We used Unreal 4 as a game engine. The team doubled in size in the middle of production, so around Gamescom time. And the reveal for it, which was interesting and nice. And after the release, people found a glitch where you could finish the game in under 5 minutes. And for that, I was also featured on IGN with THQ Nordic. Actually, Martin Kreuch, whom you might have met at 12 o'clock at the showcase, and Shift, a speedrunner. And it was an hour about talking about this famous glitch that you could finish the game in 5 minutes. The codename for Rehydrated was Pineapple, and if you're looking into the files on Steam, you might find some references to it, which was nice, and also a really nice discussion at the end before we shipped it. What have been the challenges of Rehydrated? Modernizing the art style and keeping it true to the show is always a thing for remakes, and this was really also something that challenged us quite a bit. To create 3D art and animation for a 2D cartoon can be really tricky. You know, if you have as a reference a 2D cartoon, making the word as SpongeBob as possible and Bikini Bottom in 3D is tricky. And also this challenge also had Heavy Iron. Art direction, lighting, stylization, all needs to support the feeling that you are in Bikini Bottom and the characters need to be recognizable and as true to the show as possible. So this is really something that challenged us from day one until the release day. If you're doing a remake, worn-out game mechanics, you need to make a lot of decisions. Do you leave them in because you want to have a faithful remake and you really want to, support the old players and make them feel as good as possible? Or if you change them, what's the effect on the game overall? You have the geometry, you have a lot of mechanics that were really, really designed in combination. And if you change one thing, just one move set, or you replace one object here or there, it can have a huge effect on the whole game. You might be able to skip some parts that were never intended to be skipped. So this is also a really, really huge challenge. Pinning down the target group for a remake is also tricky. So because you want to please the new audiences and old audiences that know the game without removing too much from the original. Because in the end, it's a remake, and so you always are on this line of how can I modernize this as good as possible, but also stay true to original. And especially for this project, keeping the timeline, because a movie was planned to hit theaters around our release date. That is something you don't want to miss because of PR and marketing reasons. But the movie was planned to hit theaters, I think, in May 2020, but then on March 13, 2020, the Covidi hit. So, Purple Lamp used to be 100% remote work not allowed. Everybody was always in the office. Everybody was used to the workflows in the office, seeing each other, working together in meeting rooms, sitting next to each other. On Friday evening, on March 13th, we said on Monday, everybody needs to work from home with this setup and this tool. And this was, I think, a week after our first submission for Nintendo, and we are still working on the day one patch. So this was quite a challenge. But we adapted, we changed workflows, we kept on working, we finished the game in time. And now, 15 to 100 months later, I actually don't know, we're currently still, most of us, if not all of us, are working from home. Very few exceptions here and there. And it's not optimal, but it really kind of works. So we shipped the game, we grew, we are still working together, and somehow we made it work. But I remember this day just saying, no, this cannot work. No way that we can just continue to work on it and deliver it in time, but we did. And I'm really proud of the team that we managed to do this. So how does it compare, the original to the remake? Look for yourself. You see, if you're looking into the original and the remake, visually, I think we improved a lot. Lighting-wise, it improved. Modern hardware is really, really good. It supports every more than 18 years ago. But also, I think I'm really proud that the team kept or improved actually on the SpongeBob-ness of the game. And yeah, there are hundreds of videos out there where they compare a lot of scenes, and it's really good to see how it turned out. Couple of heartfelt moments during the development. I think I came in shortly after the Gamescom reveal, but even not knowing that I will be part of the team, it hit me that the Gamescom where first gameplay was revealed, and there was this booth with hundreds of PlayStations, PCs actually, where you could play the game, were available. It was really, really well received, and the audience was really happy to see how the direction the remake took. And I think after we looked at the IGN footage for 12 minutes playthrough of a part of the first level, reading through the comments, we knew we are quite there on something that is expected to be really, really well received. And it also pushed us really, really a lot to improve on that and to make the best possible game. Now it's 2.5 million views on this IGN playthrough. I think after Gamescom it was already 2 million. So this really showed that people are interested in the game. The other memorable moment, there's a big guy called Shift out in the world in America. His job is to speedrun the original SpongeBob game as much as possible. How many hours in? Am I still online? No.
Dein Mikrofon ist verändert.
Do you hear me?
Wir hören dich, aber ein bisschen leiser. Yes. Kannst du mich hören? Hörst du mich? Michael? Hallo? Hallo, hörst du mich?
Hello. Hear me again? Cool. Thanks. Sorry. Something was off. So Shift, back to Shift. Shift, a huge guy. His job is to speedrun SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, the original, and he really flipped out seeing that the remake it was in work. We decided to invite him for a week because nobody knows the game better than he does. He spent a week in Vienna every day in the studio, and it was quite a thing hanging out with him. He gave us so much input. He played the game really all the time, and it's really, really cool. My headset died? Yeah? Okay. And we could not do it. Yes. So he's a well-known Twitch YouTube guy who speedruns it, and he created a history of why Battle for Bikini Bottom was revitalized by him or revived, and why he thinks he's one part of the reasons the remake was done. And it was really an interesting time to have him here. This is the only team photo I found with him in the middle, in the center, the one with the yellow top. It's we couldn't make a release photo or something because the COVID was on its peak when we released the game, but it was really, really nice to see him and spend a week with him. Although it can be tricky to just talk about the game for 24 hours a day, the same game. Then the release day came. I was really happy, so we finished it. Codemaster went. All the cartridges were printed, the discs were printed, and we released the game. And I was so looking forward to the first reviews. And Gamespot came in first with a 2 out of 10. All right. Then I said, maybe IGN gives us a chance. 5, mediocre. Okay. I wanted to celebrate at home, online, whatever, with my family. I just didn't feel like it anymore. But then, I just rewatched this. And if you're looking at the thumbs up, thumbs down ratio, people disagreed. So the people who watched these reviews, they disagreed completely with what the reviewers told us. More so on the IGN page. So you have 45k thumbs down on a video and 3.5k thumbs up. It shows something. And this started really a strange conversation on the internet. And whenever you release a game and maybe this big, it's not the healthiest thing to stay on the internet, on Reddit, on Twitter. But sometimes you need to, because you're interested how the people are regarding your game. So, but then a couple of more retweets. So yeah, we released on the same day as Last of Us 2, which is a really good idea, but I think it's kind of different game. So SpongeBob is different to Last of Us 2. And people who liked SpongeBob, the game, Rehydrated, made a strong case that it's maybe a better idea to play Rehydrated at least before you play Last of Us 2. Then, a lot of criticism came up regarding those two reviews, which are somehow controversial. And, they compared it a lot. How can SpongeBob Rehydrated get a less score than Imagine Party Babies? It's not feasible and stuff like this. In the end, I think this sums it up really, really good. You have the Metacritic score of 95 for Last of Us 2 and the user score of 4.1. In comparison, you have the for Rehydrated Metascore for 66 back in the day and 9.3 is the user score. What's my take on it? I think the game is really, really good. It's not Last of Us 2. It has slightly less budget than this, but why should anybody compare to Last of Us 2? But genuine criticism about the game and the internet just hold that Rehydrated hands really, really much. It was somehow heartwarming to see. In the end, if people love your game, and we know that because the reviews of the people and the comments were really, really glowing. But I think when was it? Yeah, in May this year, Embracer THQ Nordic announced that SpongeBob sold over 2 million copies, and that's actually a really, really, really good feeling to have a million seller here, and that from these 2 million copies sold, I'm pretty sure that most of the people who finished it or at least played it for a couple of hours are thinking they invested in something really good. So 2 million copies sold, that's official, and I'm really looking forward how this continues to sell, because SpongeBob is a huge IP and the game is really, really good, and it's available on every platform, and it will still sell, I hope. To sum it up, the reception, the reviews, we are around 70 on a Metacritic score. It depends on what platform you look at, but 70, I think it is. User score is 9 of 10, which is really, really fine. And also on Steam, 96% positive from over 7,000 users, which results in an overwhelmingly positive score. Is really something we can get our shoulders on. What happened post-release? We had 4 patches afterwards. We started to work on a Stadia version right after the Goldmaster. This took some time, but it was released in last winter. And maybe with the memorial bugs are some really annoying progression bugs that were raised from a couple of people that we did not find, and they were very hard to find and fix, but we fixed most of them, which is really, really good. What's next for Purple Lamp? Exciting stuff, trust me. Cannot tell, but it's exciting stuff. We're still looking for more people to join us. Programmers with Unreal 4 experience, animators, tech artists, and testers. Please apply. I posted it in Discord on the jobs channel, and you can look it up on the purplelamp.com/jobs webpage. You won't regret at least applying, because we have really exciting stuff to do. Couple of images of the party we happened to organize, at least, after COVID first lockdown, we could open up a bit. The guy in the SpongeBob suit is Martin Kreuch, which you met at 12 o'clock. So he was the producer from THQ Nordic on SpongeBob, which was really nice. And in the middle, you see a couple of Purplingers. Yeah, it was also really nice to see how many people streamed the game. This is Domtendo, the biggest Nintendo streamer of Germany. All my kids watch every content from him, and they just say, "Look, Daddy, Domtendo is making a playthrough of the whole SpongeBob game. It's almost amazing." And he didn't have one single bug, and he enjoyed it a lot. It was really nice to see. Yeah. With that, I would like to end in a meme and say, get back to the schedule. So 4 minutes left. I invite everybody of you to join the QA channel if you have some questions. And I'm really thankful that I had the opportunity to talk quickly and shortly about Rehydrated, which is a huge game and a huge success, and really a delight to work with the people at Purple Lamp. So everybody, apply, be part of Purple Lamp in the future. And thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, This was wonderful. Like for me, a real applause, please, from the chat, the virtual applause. Thank you so much. I love postmortems. I saw some slides yesterday, and I was already so excited about the talk, and you delivered. Thank you so much. So everyone, please join Michael in the Q&A session. There's already one Q&A session which is called Speaker Q&A Michael Hartinger. And yes, please, big virtual applause for this fantastic postmortem. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jude. Thank you. See you in chat.
Bye.
Bye.
And up next will be in a few minutes Andi Schmoll.